You know the client I'm talking about. She never books a full head. She gets hack heads all year and thinks she's fine. She ends up with what I call little blonde hat syndrome. You know, when they have a lot of depth through the back and then they have this very bright blonde through the top. We want to balance that a little bit. But we all know that when people get highlights on a regular basis, it builds up the brightness through their ends and it gives them different levels of movement just because those old highlights continue to do their job and there's layers of them going through. So the best way to go through and sort of catch your client up when they haven't gotten highlights in the back is something I call like a crosshatch back. Let's say I go into the back and I'm going to work on one side at a time, which is typically how I do things. And I might come in and do some really nice little hairline highlights in here so that they get a nice pull if they put their hair back. And then I kind of work differently. And I might come through here and do a horizontal. That way I'm going to get a nice sheet of color coming through this way. Then I might come in and do a few highlights on the diagonal to create a nice movement this way, and then I'm going to do another horizontal. That way I'm getting good, strong sheets of color coming through while I also have this dynamic action. Now I'm not going to lie to you, the truth of this is a really amazing shortcut so that you can move more quickly through the back of the head as you crosshatch back and forth doing these different movements. So you're getting diagonal motion, where you're going to get nice streams moving in different directions, and also horizontal, so that when these foils come down, it's going to be a nice color application coming through. You're going to get a good sheet of color. By mixing your diagonals and your horizontals, you're going to get a nice crosshatch effect, and the client is going to have a lot more color movement in the back of her head.